Welcome back. So today is Friday, it's our financial day, and I will just keep posting the rates up on the screen here. And that's us soon. Not in that small a plane though. Okay, so what do I want to talk about today? Other than those rented lips that go in a wanna. I want to talk about health and what you guys should really consider before leaving the Philippines. And I'm just going to crunch right to it, guys. What I really believe that everybody should be taking are battery operated. Now, if you're Australia, New Zealand, you're already 200 volts, so you're okay. But if you're North America, then you should be considering bringing some battery operated things with you. Now, in our Bilik Bayan videos, we already showed that we were going to send battery operated tools like drills and stuff like that. And then we'll use an adapter block to charge the batteries. So that's what we're going to do. But from a health standpoint, what should you be bringing? Well, we've already got in the Philippines, we've already got an oximeter, one of those little things that goes on the end of your finger. We've got a blood pressure machine. We've got a, what else have we got? We're seriously thinking about getting a defibrillator. When I was in my volunteer years and such, we were raising money to buy things like defibrillators for basketball courts and hockey and stuff like that for all of us old farts who might just drop dead. And who wants to die? Nobody wants to die. And these machines are so simple to use. So Lynn and I are actually contemplating on taking a course in it, because nothing like muscle memory to remember how to do this when it's in a pinch, right? And I don't think you should do it while you're okay, but you can sure practice taking it out of the box and being ready, right? So again, an oximeter, blood pressure machine, a blood sugar tester. Make sure that you get one like an AccuTouch, I believe is one of them. They do have an AccuTouch in the Philippines, so you can at least buy your strips there. Some of those machines are already battery operated, but at least if you're doing like us and you're going back and forth, you can take those with you. Now, whether you're diabetic or not, some of these things are going to be very handy. I would strongly suggest you taking them. Some of the other things that you might want to consider are simple things like your multivitamins and such. They are really expensive in the Philippines for good quality. Some of the same brands that are in Healthy Options, which is probably the most closest thing to a health food store there, their prices, again, it's an import product, so it's like 20% more. But what else do we bring? Well, we bring things like polysporin, we bring betadine, which is an iodine, we bring Bactaban, because if you saw my video from the house build, I got a blister on the top of my foot and the iodine didn't work. That's weird. The polysporin didn't work. That's weird. Fortunately, the Bactaban, boom, within 24 hours, it was gone. So these types of things I would be bringing with you, and nothing wrong, that should be in your emergency kit anyway, right? Making your supply of your prescription medications. Make sure that you have enough to last you and then some. The number of people that got caught during COVID and they could not get their medications. So for instance, I have a very small dose thyroid medication, but I can't take Synthroid. It just doesn't work for me. So I take a desiccated thyroid, and I made sure that we took 6 months with us and then some. Now in a pinch, some of these medications, you can slice them in half and all that stuff is good to go. Those of you on pain medications and such, you could be running into trouble. Things like morphine, you're not getting it there, okay? Prescription or no prescription, I don't think you're getting it there. It's not so easy. So this leads me into the next part of this talk on health. Get on YouTube and investigate some basic stuff like antibiotics. I'm not a big fan of antibiotics, but you may need them, okay? John last year was pissing blood, he was pooping blood, he had blood coming out of everywhere, and he did not want to go to a doctor. But he could have gone to a pharmacy, and you didn't need a doctor to get some of these base level antibiotics. You can go directly to a drugstore and get an awful lot in the Philippines. As with many Asian countries, you do not need a doctor for many of these medications. Remember, the currency rates are right here. So I would suggest that you get online and start investigating things. So as an example, let's say you've got a chronic shoulder problem and you're on a prescription level medication and you're not sure whether you'll get it there or not. Or you're worried that it might get confiscated at the airport and tossed in the garbage. We've had that happen before. Oh, not prescription. Well, yeah, prescription. In one case, prescription that got tossed in the garbage. So investigate things. So for instance, I get a little bit of a knee issue. If you've watched some of my videos, all of a sudden the knee will just give out and that will cause a couple of days of stress. And so things like magnesium oil, you know, take that with you. It'll give you diarrhea if you overdose on it, but it's a good numbing agent and it will get deep into the tissue, right? And it's a lot more holistic for the body to be putting magnesium in than it would be to put in, I don't know, well, you know what, some of those cold things, like the cold rub-ons, they're not bad either, but it's not my mainstay. That's more of an emergency level stuff. But education, if there's one thing I can say about health as we're going through this and you're looking at maybe retiring to the Philippines, education. Some of this base level stuff, get it out of the way. And like I say, simple things like childhood amoxil for an antibiotic. In many cases, we don't need the heavy dose. Many times, by the time we get to go to a doctor, we're probably on the downhill slide. And the number of times that my kids have had earaches, and then we finally get to the point of taking them to the doctor, and they're on that downhill slide and they are almost finished and the doctor will prescribe them something. But many times the doctor says, I would give it until tomorrow. The whole, I've seen a doctor, so. And then sure enough, next morning the kids are fine. It's a little tender, but it's over. So, think about that kind of stuff. You've got time. It's really worth it, right? You got to take the time to do everything right. And one of the issues that you notice from a lot of my videos is it's all about this hospitalization and being close to clinics. The drugstores are everywhere. So again, if you've got some good base level knowledge, and learn up, there's those rented lips again. Learn about the generic names of these products, right? Don't just go on Tylenol. Find out what the base level drug is in there and know what that is. Because in the Philippines, they don't do like we do. Like in Canada, it's often, pass me a Kleenex. Well, Kleenex is a brand name. Tissue is the word, right? In the Philippines, they call it a tissue. So now my last thing on health is, believe it or not, bidets. The bidet, probably the best thing that you can do for yourself in a country where you are sweating. Get ready for it. It's just a little hose beside the toilet and wash your backside. Boy, am I ever a believer in that now. You might not get over it, but I could not understand the COVID toilet paper thing. You finished, flush the toilet, give yourself a bath, no different than if you were standing in the shower, put some soap on your hand and wash yourself. Goodness sakes. Please leave a comment if that drives you crazy, but I'll tell you, the reverse, when you're trying to save money, toilet paper, are you serious? Ah. So, is your hair on fire and you're running down the road right now? Well, let me know if it is, but in my book, no more TP. Wow, minimal. We don't use it much anymore. Canada doesn't have bidets, so we get drawn back into it again. Okay, guys, that's a wrap for today. Again, there's those currency rates for this weekend. If you've got extra cash and your numbers are above that threshold, again, those are suggested thresholds. But if your numbers are above it, I'd be sending any kind of cash you can. You know, I know if you're not already moved there, that's difficult, but now is, again, the education time. So learn those currencies, determine what your threshold rate is. Everything above that gets saved, whether it's pesos in the Philippines or in your native country with your own currency, save it, okay? Especially if they've tapped you out and you can't send any more, because maybe that's the maximum that you can send for that month or that week or whatever. Okay? Alrighty, guys. Later, Gators.